Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. So this week, Kimmi and Maurice celebrated their 3rd-year wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary to them. And they also did an interview with Dr. Nicole from Put a Ring on It. They talked about Black love and relationships and just what they do to make their marriage work. So it's kind of long, but if you got a chance, pop some headphones in if you're at work or if you're cooking dinner or tidying up the kitchen today, take a listen to it because I thought it was a really good interview. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys listen to it, and then at the end, let me know what you guys thought about it.
Hey, Kimmi KLS. Hi, y'all. How are y'all doing? Hey. Look who we have here tonight. Y'all ain't ready? Y'all ain't ready.
Hey,
Y'all
how
ain't
you
ready. Look at them. Look at Beauty on the
Y'all ready.
screen. Look at Beauty on the screen. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready for all this Black love up in here tonight. Y'all not ready. Y'all come on
Ready.
in.
Right.
Right? Come on in, y'all. I'm sending some waves out. Everybody, we are so super excited that we have Maurice and Kimmi with us tonight. Can you all hear me?
I can. We can.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So are y'all out there watching Love and Marriage Huntsville? Are y'all?
If y'all ain't, y'all need to.
Put it in chat. Come on. Let us know what's going on. Happy anniversary. Yes, they are watching. They are watching.
Thank you.
I
It was
love
3
it.
long years.
I love
Three
it.
long years.
I love it. Look at she like.
Right. You talk about 3 long
3
years.
long. We still together, y'all. We holding on.
Y'all yet holding on, as the folks say.
Yet holding on.
Well, welcome everybody. Go ahead and tell your folks to come on in. We have an amazing opportunity tonight to have a great conversation with some of my network mates. Look at this. Ain't God good?
Ain't
he?
Ain't he sis? Ain't he good? Right?
Absolutely.
Ma'am.
So excited to see the both of you. Congratulations on just the success of your show and just what you are bringing into this conversation of Black love. For those of you who do not know me, come on in. My name is Dr. Nicole Beach. I'm the host of Put a Ring on It. Our season finale is tomorrow. So if you have not been watching it, go ahead and binge watch real quick. Just stay up tonight. Watch. And then come tomorrow so you can see the finale and see how things turn out for our couples. And for those who are in my tribe, welcome Maurice and Kimmi again from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Welcome you all. I'm so delighted to meet you and to see you.
Thank you
for having us.
Yeah, thank you for asking us.
Absolutely. So let's just get into it. Black love. What does it mean to the two of you?
I'm gonna let her start first.
Smart man.
To me, Black love is special, man. And I think to me, it's so special because we've had to go through so many trials and tribulations as a culture to get to where we are. And a lot of that is hinged on Black love and Black families and the togetherness and us putting each other on our shoulders, like wives supporting their husbands while they were working, husbands having to support the wives while they were at home taking care of the kids. And so for me, it's special, it's different, it's funky, it's so, you know what I'm saying? It's just very different. I like the way that we love on each other. I like how we as Black love express our love to each other. I'll see things in my feed from time to time where they'll have Black love clips. It could be a husband and wife just dancing in the kitchen on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff moves me as an African American. And I love the way Black people show their love for each other in various ways.
Oh, me too. Come on, Maurice. Bring it home. Come on.
That's a great answer. Wow. Right. I gotta go. I should have went first.
Right.
Okay, okay.
I think for me, Black love, I like to think more so historically about it.
Mhm.
It's what's kept us together. You know, a lot of us can't go too far back to find our roots. You know, we end at slavery here, especially in America, and it's been what's carried us through. Oftentimes, even seeing, you know, families split up, but it was the love that brought, you know, everybody together, taught the stories of yesteryear, you know, forward. And then to see that we're still here, we're still kicking, and we're still growing, man. Black love is the reason why.
Build a
Listen,
nation.
you all have no idea how much I am aligned with what you are saying. You know, one of the things we say in our community is Black love is a community affair, right?
Mhm.
Because it,
Mhm.
it really takes your tribe, right? Whoever you define your tribe to be,
Correct.
Right.
right? To hold you down, to keep
Correct.
you
Mhm.
accountable, to love on you when you need it, to hug on you when you need it, to kick you in the butt just a little bit when
Mhm.
you need it, so
Brother.
that you remember what it's all about. And you know, it's interesting with us having the platforms that we have. What a blessing to be on the network that we're on and to be
Correct.
able to have the connection in our community in this conversation of Black love. You know, one of the things that I talk about, you know, in the best way, you know, you should commit a murder every day, and the murder is to your ego, right? Because
Mhm.
that ego will sure enough get you in trouble, won't it?
That's real.
Oh my God, won't it?
I'll be back.
It will get you in trouble, especially in relationships. It is that, it's that simple weak link when it's not managed and when it's not under control, when it's not checked, right?
Mhm.
So when it comes to your relationship and that conversation about the ego, what would you say to couples that are really, they're trying to get that yummy love, you know, they're trying to hold it down and make it move into the future? What would you say to them about the ego?
Mm. I can tell you
Y'all
from,
both said, whew.
right, from I guess from a male's perspective and my perspective, killing the ego, that murder that you're describing is extremely important because oftentimes a little I'm sorry goes a long way. And
Wait a minute, Maurice. Wait a minute. Say it one more time. One more time for the people in the back.
sometimes that I'm sorry. I mean, and the only thing, especially when you know you're wrong, the only thing
Yeah,
that stops you from saying anything that you know you should say is the ego.
yeah.
I don't need to tell her I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe she should be telling me she's sorry,
Right,
right?
right.
Even though you know you're wrong. So I mean, it's a balancing act, of course, with relationships, but ultimately I think that probably that would be probably number one for me.
Right? Isn't it funny though, Maurice? It's like, you know to survive and to thrive, you gotta check it. But
Right.
sometimes it'll box with you, won't it?
Yes.
And it'll be like, you make her tell you I'm sorry. Just don't say
Right. See who can hold out the
Just don't
longest.
say it.
it. Listen, what about you, Kimmy? What would you say about the ego?
Well, like we both did the whole thing because we both have pretty big egos.
Yeah.
And I think my advice to anybody is that it takes time. And if you are vested in your relationship, you will understand how to get your ego in check for the
Yeah.
betterment of your relationship. And there's some people who have a hard time with that. I mean, and that's like just legitimately so. A lot of people compliment us a lot on the show, but we've gotten to where we are because we've had mountains to climb.
Yeah.
And one of those mountains was our communication with those egos. We are both lions by definition in our
Yeah.
personality traits. And so sometimes it did make it hard for us to sit back and apologize to the next person. And we had to learn to communicate our way through that because we wanted to, you know? And so you have to want to. because the ego will catch, and he still spurs his head every now and then, you know.
Listen,
I'm
listen.
not even gonna act like he never shows up because he does.
Who is he? Why are we blaming ego as a he?
I named it a he.
And why
It's
does the
ego.
ego
I
have to
named
be a he?
I named it a he.
I don't like this.
Maurice is like, now
Where is he
wait a
going?
minute now. Hold on. Why he gotta be a he?
I see where he's going.
That's so funny.
It's my answer. It's my story.
Right.
So I need to name the characters in my story.
That's right. I got you, sis. I got you. You know, but what is so challenging sometimes is how convincing the ego can be that it really has your back. Like you really got to know what it sounds like. You got to know who you're talking to when you're, because it's a straight conversation. Something goes down, and the ego always, I tell couples, the ego will make you an offer. And it will seem like the most incredible offer. And when you start negotiating that offer, you got to realize, now, wait a minute, hold up. Why am I talking to you and not talking to her? Why am I talking to you and not talking to him?
Right.
You're about to make me spend a whole lot of money trying to write checks that my behind can't cash. So I'm not going to talk to you no more.
Right.
Right? But it's so convincing, though, isn't it? And in those moments, can you talk to our audience, everybody, if you're just joining, what a joy to have Maurice and Kimmi from Love and Marriage Huntsville. They look good. They're talking good stuff. We enjoy watching them on OWN. What a blessing to have them. And we're talking about the ego, just in case you just got here. You know, what would you say to the audience you want people to learn about how you manage yourselves as it relates to ego in marriage? As what you would say, Kimmi, we're two lions. You know, we are bossing. We are making things happen and making moves and taking care of our family and building legacy. But then when it comes to that ego, we got to line up and try to make it work. What would you advise to couples that's a challenge for them?
In all honesty, I am a huge proponent of therapy, huge proponent of counselors and that kind of thing, because in all honesty, we got that information from our premarital counseling in regards to us being lions and the egos getting in the way of us facilitating or coming to resolutions in our disagreements. And sometimes it's not always about being right. Like, you want to prove that you're right. You want the other person to be wrong. Sometimes the bigger ego is knowing that you're right and still apologizing to move on.
Come on,
like,
now.
That's the bigger ego. Like, I don't have to be right this time. I'd much rather be happy.
Maurice, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing now, Maurice. Let it go, bruh. Let it grow. Just put the pillow. Put that pillow over your face. Don't say nothing. I love it.
But that's a learning curve for many. And if you are not in a position where you feel that that's something you can maneuver, I suggest you get a counselor or a therapist or a life coach, somebody who's able to help you kind of turn the corner on that concept and understand it better. Because at the end of the day, in business, in relationships, in families, it's usually the one thing that holds you back.
Right.
If you can't reel it in here, you probably can't reel it in at work. You probably can't reel it in your families. And so you lose control all over when you aren't able to control the ego portion.
Yeah. Maurice, what you got?
I think that ego, oftentimes ego left unchecked is a problem, like what Kimmi was just saying. However, ego also is what propels people to success at times. So when no one else believes, your ego is the one that gives you confidence. Your ego is the one that can propel you forward. So what you have to do is understand that it's a balancing act. This ego that is a protection mechanism in one aspect is also a weapon in another. Right. And if it's a weapon and it's used to weaponize against your lovely mate, then, you know, you might have to put a pillow over your face and not comment when that moment comes.
Yeah, God. Yeah,
That
God.
might be your struggle point.
Let the moment pass. Just
Let the moment
I
pass.
tell folks, just hold tight. Let the moment
Saying,
pass.
part of who I am, even on the show, you know, you get lots of questions, you get DMs, you know, you'll have people that say, oh, you're passive when it comes to Maurice, or this, that, and the other. I pick my battles. My ego allows me to pick my battles. Everything isn't a fight. Like, everything isn't a situation of I gotta win or I gotta be on top. And I think that's like a really big part. Like, some stuff just isn't worth the fight. It just really isn't. At the end of the day, when you look at what's in jeopardy of the conversation, some stuff just isn't worth the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
And
with
you
that.
know, one thing that I talk to couples about is really understanding your partner's growth. Really understanding where they are and what their growth pattern is, right? It's, you know, you hate to compare it to kids, but if you watch kids, they have a pattern, right? They, you know, they got to get in trouble about that twice. And on the third time, on the third day, right? Then it's like, okay, he got it. He got to get on punishment for that twice. And on the third time, he's going to be like, now, wait a minute.
Right.
Come on now, something is not right. She got to get in trouble and be on punishment 3 times. And on the 4th time, she's going to get the lesson. So sometimes, too, it's being able to have enough grace to see where the other person is and say, Now, we had an argument about that 6 months ago. I remember it well. They ain't cussing this time.
Right.
They ain't out their mind this time.
Right.
We're turning a corner on this conversation.
Correct.
So fix it, Jesus. let me put this pillow over my face and let this moment pass. Let me let this moment pass. I need you to bring this full circle for me.
Right.
Because I'm not going to fight you at the mat. We talk about in our tribe, Crystal and I talk to couples and singles all the time about coming to the mat versus coming to the table. If every time we have a disagreement, your ego literally wants to take me to the boxing ring, your ego wants to fight me until I am debilitated. How many times can we do that?
You can't. It drains you.
It drains you, right? And that's where avoidance kicks in and all that other stuff that's not healthy. So it's so cool to hear you all talk about this conversation so other people can get an idea of what real strength looks like in a relationship.
Be clear, it takes time. I don't ever want people to leave a conversation that we've done where they think it's happy-go-lucky, you know, like kicks and giggles all the time. It takes time. We've been together 7 years before we got married. And so it takes time to learn each other and be able to grow and want to grow in that fashion. You know what I'm saying? And so it's got to be a desire to want to do it. It's just that simple. It's got to be a desire to want to do it.
Yeah.
So wait a minute,
Gotta be...
Maurice, it wasn't instant add water. You didn't just come in knowing all of it.
Not at all. And actually, Doc, right now I'm actually feeling like that sinner in church, and the pastor speaking to me. You know, you see me shrink to the back a little bit, right? Like, oh Lord, you done found me.
It's always that one day you ain't really want to go to church,
right?
And then by the time it's over, you like, okay,
right,
exactly.
It's me, Lord.
Just a second, right?
Yes.
It's so cool to be able to have fun in Black love. People have painted our narrative in such a toxic and perplexing way.
Agreed.
Almost like Black love is akin to, as one of my girlfriends said on the show Black Love, you know, it ain't digging a ditch. right?
Right.
This work of this love that we are creating is not ditch digging work.
Right.
It's necessary for us to go and grow. The
Mhm.
only way for us to go and grow is in community. So can you tell folks what your community looks like now? I love that you talked about therapy. I love that you talked about coaching, because for us, that's a major part of community. What does community look like for you?
You want to take this one, or I can chime in?
Well, we can both answer it. For me, I'm going to say right off the rip that we have a group of friends and we call them our family. So there's some people who are in our group by choice, and there's some people who are in our group by family. So they're friends and family.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody needs a village, and you can count on that village to support you, talk to you, be a shoulder when you need to be a shoulder, be your confidant when you need to be a confidant, be a babysitter if you need a babysitter.
Right.
I agree wholeheartedly in my village and
Yeah.
my friends and my support system.
Yes.
And I believe all of that comes in levels. Everybody, you're not going to tell everybody all your business. There's
Right.
certain friends going to get a little bit more of your business than the last friend.
Right.
And your family included. I do try to steer clear of a lot of negative conversation because you don't want to get all the negativity in your relationship.
Right.
So I really try to give as much information as I can to receive the proper information that I can as well. And then if that doesn't work, I may go to the family level. That doesn't work, I may go to the therapy level. Like, I believe there's tiers to trying to get through whatever issue you may be having at the time. Our initial or my initial core is what I call my family. That's my friends and family circle. And I think that I have a good group of friends that make their best effort to hold me accountable.
I love that. Love that. What would you say, Maurice?
That's actually what I was going to say. It was the family.
Yeah.
However, I think that you have to be open to criticism.
You do.
And you have to also trust the people when you give them that information, that they're going to give you the best information. And oftentimes it's not what you want to hear. It's actually the direct opposite of what you want to hear. But when you have a group of friends or family members that care equally about both sides, and I'll give you an example. They said that if me and Kimmi were to ever break up, they're actually taking Kimmi, so family members included. So
they're like, don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Hey, listen, we made our choice, bro. You know what? So ultimately, you still have to be able to listen to what they have to say, and then internalize it and then act on it. That's the most important thing, is that you actually change the behaviors or whatever necessary to grow.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You got to change the behaviors necessary to grow. So I saw a meme recently of a brother, black man, had on a black shirt, and I think the shirt said, to know better, when you know better, you do better.
Correct.
But then it said, but to do better, you have to know better. And what we fail sometimes to recognize is Black love is not instant add water. We don't know what we don't know until we know it. And everything that we know is not the only option.
Correct.
We come with a lot of understanding, and good Lord, we just know it's the truth, and that's the only way. This is the only way, until you know another way. So what we talk about in our tribe, we have something called Heart of the Matter Conversations. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the Heart of the Matter conversation in this way. But what we talk about is the fact that, as Black people, as brilliant as we are, in this conversation of relationships, we've got some limitations, and we don't even know. We don't even know that some of what we're using is the back of a shoe for a hammer?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all we got.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we got. We're using a butter knife trying to build a skyscraper. It's
Mhm.
like, hey, wait a minute. There are other options, and it doesn't take anything away from you that you don't have all the tools to build what you see in your future or what you desire. But isn't it time to get some?
Correct.
Right. It is.
Correct.
It is.
It tickled me that you used that as an example as a single parent when Jalen was younger, maybe 3 or 4. I used to cut the grass and I would take him with me and sit him on my lap while I cut the grass.
Come on,
And
cut the grass.
listen, I had to do it. So I would take him with me. That would be some time we spent together, right? However, the lawnmower didn't work well. And so every time I had to go and get ready to cut the grass, I had to get the jumper cables and hook up the lawnmower and hook it up to my car and jump the lawnmower off so I could cut the grass.
Come
So
on.
one day we were in the house, I'm putting on my clothes, and he said, "What we gonna do, mommy?" I said, "We're gonna go cut the grass." And so I said, "Finish putting your clothes on." So I put my clothes on, came outside, and he was in the garage getting the jumper cables.
Yes.
He was getting the jumper cables.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. That's all he knew.
That's
All he knew was that in order to cut the grass, we had to jump off the lawnmower. And so in that moment, I said, "Listen, there's a different way to do this."
Right.
There's a different way to do this. Get a battery, like, do something different. But I always get tickled with that example because that's all he knew. All he knew was that when it's time to cut the grass, we need to go get the jumper cables.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no penalty. If that's what you've known and that's what you've been taught, then that's what you know and that's what you've been taught.
Right.
However, when we start to mature and connect with other people, and other people start to show us, that's interesting.
Come on now.
That really, I've never done it that way, right? All I do is turn this button and the lawnmower comes on. It's that moment that gives you an opportunity not to say you judging me, you trying to check me, you trying to come for me, what you're trying to say. It's that moment that gives you the opportunity to say, okay, hold up. I'm being positioned for something greater. I'm being positioned to stretch versus shrink. I may not know how to stretch, but I know those are the options that are being presented right in this moment. Shrink, stretch. Can somebody give me something up in here where I can stretch?
Right. You know what, Doc, I got a question for you though.
Sure.
Because as you're speaking on this, it's a comfort of life that people know. Right. They're connected to, this is the way I've done it. This is the way I'm comfortable doing it. Now they have some exposure. How do they let that go to grasp on the unknown?
I love that you say that. Can I offer a shift maybe in all of our language? It's not a comfort zone. It's a familiar zone because ain't nothing about it comfortable.
That's a very good point.
Ain't nothing about it comfortable. And we feel the discomfort, even when we've been doing it for a long time. You got to get ready. You like, oh, let me put this hair in this ponytail. Let me get my hat on. Let me get
uncomfortable.
Honey, I got to take a nap. I got to get my whole self together. It's got to be this many degrees. You know, it's not comfortable, but it's familiar. So you are in this familiar place. And one of the things that we're hoping that a lot of people that look at our show, look at your show, are willing to say is, you know what? This is familiar, but is it really the only option? Is it really the only option? And is it the best option, or is it just what I've known? I can choose.
Right.
But I got to know what the options are first.
Right.
So now we have this opportunity, Maurice and Kimmi, in tribes like ours to say, you know what? I'm about to learn some tools, get some tools, master some things, and create a tribe that can really help me manifest the love that God has for me in a relationship with somebody else that loves me, that wants to go with me and grow with me. And I'm ready to prepare myself for that kind of love as well, so it can come into my life. And that's really what we're hoping Heart of the Matter Conversations will do. For singles on September 18th, we're doing it. For couples on September 19th, we're doing it. It's a master class for folks to come like you, like me, like us, and say, it's time to have a safe place, a confidential space where we can laugh just like we have and talk about things that matter.
Right.
So I'm so delighted. I'm so delighted. You guys were so much fun.
Thank you so much.
I love it. You all, if tell my tribe where to find you besides on OWN in Love and Marriage Huntsville. Come on, y'all, watch it.
Come on.
The finale. Come on.
Let it bless your life.
Yes. Where can they find you and connect with you?
Well, I'm gonna start with Saturday nights, 9, 8 Central on. So we're gonna start there. Get you a new episode this Saturday. Oh, they might be skipping this week.
Yes. It comes back.
It comes back on the 4th. And then for me on Twitter and on Instagram, I'm Kimmi, KIMMI _KLS, and on Facebook, I'm Kimmi Scott.
I'm Miami Reese on Twitter and IG, and on Facebook, I'm Maurice J. Scott.
And you can also meet us at thekimzone.com.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's everything us. More me of us, but you know, he's over there too.
But us nonetheless. Well, listen, you all have brought so much joy, I think, to both of our communities tonight. It is a blessing to be on the same network with you.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Wishing your marriage and your future and your legacy nothing but good, nothing but love, nothing but God's best and positivity to you. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out.
And thanks for them nuggets that you gave to me today.
Come on now, Maurice. You get to walk around.
I'm left church good.
Right. Kimmi, he gets to walk around and be like, I put that pillow on my face. A brother is managing himself. You see what I'm saying?
I'm going to remind him. When I put that pillow up, I'm going to remind him of this conversation.
Yep. Don't say nothing to me.
I love it. Love you guys. Have a wonderful week.
Thank
and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.